My name is Matt Landau, and I'm a librarian, and today I'm going to be telling you about the time I met a man who saved a mountain. But first, I'm going to tell you about a project that I've been working on for about 4 years, and there are two parts to the project. The first part is a small card. It looks a little something like this. This is a reusable certificate of excellence. And the second part of the project is a website. And on the website, each card has a web page where people can go in and write comments about a particular card. It's kind of a message in a bottle. And I believe we have the address is printed on the card, so if you get one, you can visit that website, and I'll talk about that later. There's a lot of unique content on there. So what's the point of these two things? Well, let me start off by asking all of you a question, which is, how many of you have ever received an award? A good number of us? Good, good. Could be for athletics, academics, sports, karate. It's a good experience, right, getting an award? Okay, let me follow up by asking a second question, which is how many of you have ever been the person to give an award? Okay, it's actually a good number of us. It's not quite as many. And I think there's an opportunity there. So let me switch gears for just a minute. And a good number of us probably have a Facebook account, or at least know a little something about it. And you know there's something called the like button. And if you stretch your imagination just a little bit, you can think of the like button as kind of an award. You see something that impresses you, and you give it a thumbs up. Or you do something that impresses other people, and they give you a thumbs up. I think generally it's a good experience for everyone involved. And another way to look at it is that it's something nice and something validating that people do for each other online on a regular basis. And what I've been trying to do with this project is to make that activity, that act of acknowledging and celebrating the good things that people do, a little more real, a little more lasting, and possibly a little more interesting. So here's how to use one of these certificates. Step 1 is that you find someone who is doing something excellent. Step 2, you give them the card. Step 3, which is optional, is that you can go online and write about it. You can say who you gave it to, why you gave it, what was the excellence that you encountered. And then the person who you gave it to can also write about how they feel about receiving an award. And then step 4 is back to step 1. For the person to whom you gave the certificate, they now find someone doing something excellent. And they give them the card and optionally write about it. And this process continues. Just one card, and yet many opportunities to give an award. What I like about this is that it doesn't cost any money. No technology is required to participate. You can do it all offline if you want. That you determine your own standard of excellence for the awards that you give, and that you gain a unique connection to a possibly unfolding story. If you do have one of these certificates, you may find yourself trying to draw out and uncover excellence in others just so you can give them a card and make them smile. And I think that's kind of neat. Now let me just qualify this with a dash of reality. The majority of these certificates that I've given out don't ever get written about on the website. They may or may not get passed on. But about 10% of the certificates do keep going. And even if they don't move very far or very quickly, sometimes people just like to keep them around as a memento or a reminder of something excellent that they did. And I like to think that these certificates are still being used just in a stationary manner. So what happens? Well, ideally, people keep passing the cards on. And the more the cards that get passed on, the more stories that get written on the website. And there are actually a good number of stories on there now. And these are stories that you wouldn't normally hear. Sometimes they're stories told by friends, but more often than not, they're stories told by complete strangers. And it shouldn't be surprising to us that there's a lot of excellence in the world. And a lot of it we just don't know about. And so this is a way to see a small but unique portion of the excellence around you. And if there's a particular certificate that you give away, you can see where it goes next and why it was given. And possibly you can see it move out into the world and travel farther out and encounter more excellence. So one of my favorite stories was from certificate number 1276. And I gave it to my friend Jessica on a camping trip to Crowder's Mountain because she had been doing a lot of traveling to interesting places, and I thought that was excellent. So we get to the top of the mountain, and there's a guy up there who we meet, and his name is Bob. And we come to find out that he had been part of a protest movement in the 1970s to prevent Crowder's Mountain from being strip mined. So basically, this man that we were talking to had saved the mountain that we were standing on, which is really extraordinarily excellent. And Jessica agreed that that was excellent and gave him the certificate. And Bob was really excited about it. I don't know if he had ever gotten a formal award for his achievement. And he was excited, and he was looking forward to passing it on. And in fact, he did. And you can read about where it went next if you go to wanderingawards.org/1276. That's where the story is on that. So that's one of my favorite stories. And it makes the project seem worthwhile to me, again, because it allows you to see excellence that you wouldn't normally see, something just over the horizon in that case. So some other uses for the certificates have included being used as thank you cards, to show appreciation for someone returning a lost item, for helping someone move to a new apartment, for telling a good joke. They've been used as last-minute Christmas gifts, as small tokens of appreciation, as ways to offer encouragement. They've been given for attending conferences such as these, for great theatrical performances, and for supporting musical endeavors. And perhaps most significantly, they've been given to others who are supporting friends and strangers during difficult times. In fact, I just met a homeless man outside during lunch, and he was telling me his story as a vet. And he was going through hard times, and I gave him a certificate just to kind of encourage him on his way and to acknowledge his service to the country. So one more story, which kind of brings it full circle for me, is the time I was talking to an acquaintance who had just received a certificate. And he was working as a waiter, and a table had given him a tip that included a certificate along with his tip, so he actually did get a tip. And he was telling me how surprised and excited he was to receive the award. And what was funny about that was that he didn't know that I had anything to do with making the certificates. So in some ways, this project is about how big the world is and how much is out there to discover. And in some ways, it's about how small the world is and how connected we all are to each other. So what now? Well, there are several challenges. First of all, the website could use an upgrade. I'm not the world's best programmer, and the site has a lot of flaws. There are some features I'd like to add. For instance, it doesn't actually interface with Facebook right now, and I would actually like to get it to do that. I just don't know how. I'm always coming up with new designs for the certificates. I've been working on a postcard version, kind of continuously trying to get that to work. I'm looking forward to maybe using a 3D printer and making maybe medallions of excellence. So just continual development and evolution of the idea. Second, I want to just keep working on getting more certificates out there. So if you have space in your pocket at the end of the conference, I'll have some certificates that you can pass along. I also think it would be cool to have a team of volunteers who actively spend time seeking out excellence in the local community and in the world at large. And there are numerous people who have supported this project, and I would call them champions of excellence. And to them, I owe a great debt of gratitude. So that's about all I have to say. Thank you very much for your time. And remember, be excellent to each other. Thank you.